Steve Vargas is running for Orange County Supervisor. Why should gun owners support him? Let's find out next.
But first, if you have legal matters that involve firearms, then you need to call California firearms lawyer John Dillon. If you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant, call our trusted firearms attorney John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Call 760-642-7150, or you can visit his website at DillonLawGP.com. So, you're going to take care of the Mr. Vargas interview?
If he's here, is Mr. Vargas here?
I am.
Steve, you are. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you very much for allowing me to participate.
Oh, it's good to have you here. So, for the audience, I guess, for the listeners, who is Steve Vargas? I already told him, but tell him some more, Steve. Who are you? What's your background?
Well, first of all, I just so happen to be up in Washington State right now, not in my district, running for supervisor. I'm actually got called to active duty in the military, so I'm still in the reserves, and I'm up here doing beach surveys with DISCA, which is the Defense Support for Civil Authorities. So we actually we've already knocked out 8 beaches. We got about 6 more beaches to go, and also doing the Quinault Indian reservations up here.
Wow, you're a busy guy.
It's
So
bad timing. But,
I was going to say, they picked a heck of a time to have you go do this, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's good. So you've been
It'll make you stronger.
so you've been doing that for quite a while, Steve. I was seeing you've had a number of deployments overseas and everything like that.
Yes. So I've actually I joined out of high school 80 to 86. I was actually out for 17 years, and then came back after 9/11. I have 5 daughters, and I went to my wife and said, "Honey, what do you think about me joining the reserves? Because they bombed my city. I'm from New York, Puerto Rican from New York City, and my girls weren't going, so I joined up, and I've been in for the last a total of 24 years. The last 18 years as a reservist."
Okay, great. And Steve, you've got you've got a lot of experience in public service too. So you've been pretty politically active. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about your background there?
Sure. So I actually, I've actually been elected 3 times. I served on the Brea City Council from 98 to 2002. I was off for about 12 years and then came back in 2014. And I've been reelected since. So I won in 2014 and then won again in 2018. And this would be my final year on the council. When I'm elected June 7th, I will still be on the council until the end of the year, and just looking forward to continuing to serve.
Okay, great. And you've decided to go after the county supervisor seat, correct?
That is correct. I've done a lot of work in Brea, and as a matter of fact, when I started, generally the council people are I would say more retirement age, and when you are done raising your family and working, you want to continue to serve, so you get involved with civil service or civic service. I actually got involved early on, just because of my work schedule. I worked rotating shift work, and I had different times off, and I got involved, and I just got a passion for it and just kept with it all these years. So actually, when I'm coming towards the end of this city council term, there's no term limits in my city, so I could run again. But I feel like I've done enough in my city that I want to continue on and go on the bigger opportunity as far as service goes, because the work that I'm doing in Brea, and it's not just me, of course, there's 5 members on our council, so it's the entire council that does everything. But I feel like I could do more at the county level and from what I've learned at the local level.
So what's the supervisor environment like up there in Orange County? Because I know it's a little bit challenging for us down here in San Diego County.
Sure.
But what's the landscape like up there? What are you going to be walking into when you're elected?
Sure. Well, let me. First of all, my duty is actually down in Coronado, so I go once a month, and I'm on active duty now since April, down in Coronado at the NAB base down there. So I'm in your neck of the woods all the time. So I'd love to come in to your studio sometime in the near future to give you some more.
Oh, we can definitely arrange that.
Yeah, but let me answer your question. So we currently have 3 positions available, 3 supervisory districts available. The 5th district, which is down southern Orange County, and then we have a new due to districting, the redistricting process. We have a new central Anaheim, Santa Ana district that's heavily skewed towards Democrats. I think it's 36% Republican and non-party preference, and the rest is all Democrats. So it's significant. And then you have my district, which is the 4th district, which is a purple district. It's evenly split. It actually leans Democrat, but it's split as far as how they vote. We're rather conservative up in the 4th district. So that's kind of one of the opportunities that we have, is that with me running against 2 Democrats, there's Sonny Park, the mayor of Buena Park, and then Doug Chafee is the current board chairman. Well, they're beating each other up pretty bad, and it's really quite sad. Some of the pieces that I've seen, I'm glad they're not attacking me, but they're hitting each other pretty bad, and it's leaving me as consolidating the Republican vote in this district that I seem to be going strong.
Well, that's good. What is the makeup right now? Because I'm not familiar with your board up in Orange County. What's the makeup, Republican and Democrat up there?
So we actually have Don Wagner is the 2nd district. He's a solid Republican. Andrew Doe, solid Republican. And then you have Katrina Foley, who's a very liberal Democrat. And then Doug Chafee, of course, who's more of a moderate Democrat. And then the other one is Lisa Bartlett, who's turned out, and she's running for another seat. But that's where we're at right now, is that if I can pull this off and win June 7th, because the 2 Democrats are splitting this seat, we would have a solid Republican majority leading into the November primaries. We guarantee that we have 3 Republicans in that seat. And then if we get, and when we get the 5th district, then that'll give us 4 Republicans, which is solid. And when I say Republicans, this is a nonpartisan position, of course.
Of course.
But there's some craziness going on in all of politics. And I think that the Republicans have got a better handle on how we can pull ourselves out of it and maintain our area.
Yeah, and it's just, it's a difference in philosophy, I guess, because we have a pretty severe problem down here in San Diego. And it's, you would think that at least they could work together on some things and it wouldn't be quite so split like that. But when you're, down here, it's 3 Democrats to 2 Republicans, and things just get passed, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 over and over again. I don't know that the system was intended to go that way, but it's certainly like that nowadays. So it sounds like you got a good chance at, at doing something productive up there, which is nice. It's good to hear.
Yes, of course. And well, just being a Republican or even a Democrat does not guarantee you're going to vote right. And as you guys are aware, particularly down in San Diego, I know you're getting impact with the drugs coming over the border and just the migrant crisis that's going on. So I know you guys are getting slammed, but that's all coming north. And what we're trying to do is be a backstop. Particularly, we're squeezing between the very liberal LA politics and then what's going on from San Diego. So we need to hold the line up here and give us some breathing room. Hopefully, inspire you guys in San Diego.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's pretty bad. So I'm tempted to ask you, what's it like up there in terms of, the politics in your area? Is it reasonably civil, or is it like it? I mean, I know what the answer is, but I was just tempted to ask it anyway. Or is it, to the point where it's hard to get anything productive done because of because of just the I don't know. It seems like the dislike, I guess. Politicians nowadays and people in the country are so. It seems like we're so different or so split. It's hard to get anything really productive done. You've got to be a really skilled politician, I think, to get anything good for the people through.
Well, one of the things that I did in Brea, which is kind of really motivated me to go to this next step, is I had the opportunity to be the mayor last year of Brea, one of the most northern Orange County cities, and we got a great community in Brea, very solid. 99% of the votes are 5-0, but I'm that one guy that raises my hand and says, "Oh, wait a minute, I don't want to raise the water rates anymore." For example, and so I've been kind of that guy that sticks his hands up and once in a while and says, "I don't agree with that," or I question certain policies or ways we go about shifting money around. That's one of the things that I'd like to do at the Board of Supervisors as well, is put some fresh eyes on that. My background is business as far as I've worked for Chevron for 20 years and retired just a year and a half ago. Worked for Edison for 7 years. And so I'm more of a, coming from a business perspective or a corporate perspective, I think I can bring a new fresh set of eyes on the way the board does business.
Okay. Hey, Steve, hang in there for a minute. We're going to take a quick break, pay a couple bills, and we'll bring you right back.
Yes, sir.
Hey, when you're looking for jewelry or fine watches, you need to go to San Diego's top jewelry shop, Leo Hamels. Conveniently located in the heart of San Diego, visit Leo's showroom at 1851 San Diego Avenue to see their hand-picked line of new jewelry and watches. And when you buy from Leo Hamel, not only do you get the best deal, you are also supporting the Second Amendment. Support the companies that support the 2A. Call 619-299-1500, or you can visit their showroom on San Diego Avenue and always get awesome service at Leo's. Call 619-299-1500, or you can stop by their showroom at 1851 San Diego Avenue, just off the 5 freeway.
All right, so we're back here with Steve Vargas, who's the Republican candidate for Board of Supervisors up in Orange County. And Steve, this being a gun show, I suppose we got to ask about guns. So what's your experience with guns and firearms and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. So I'm certainly qualified. We qualify every 2 years. Actually, have to maintain our quals. So I'm a expert on the pistol and on the M4. I'm a sharpshooter. My crew serve weapon is a Mark 19 mortar fire machine gun, but I haven't fired that in 15 years. So unfortunately, we don't. That's not something that we have to maintain as reservists. That was on active duty. But I have quite a few of my own weapons. My favorite is the 38 Super, the 1911 model, and I actually like that. That's the best, most accurate for me.
All right, you actually took one of our questions. One of our co-hosts here, Action Jackson, who is 9 now, I believe.
Yeah.
So Action was going to ask you that very question about your favorite gun, but you stole it from him.
Yeah.
But you know what? I bet Action Jackson, I'd like to know why that's his favorite gun. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, why is that your favorite gun?
Well, Action Jackson, that was actually my captain when I was first on a submarine, and his name was Captain Jackson. We called him Action Jackson because he took us out to sea 265 days out of 365 one year. So he was a hard charger. But anyway, why is it my favorite gun? It's because it's the most accurate that I have. I like the weight of it. I also qualified on the 45 my first time, and it was also a 1911 model. And so I guess I'm just particular to that model and that feel. So I like that the best.
Cool.
All right, well, good. Yeah, Steve, I didn't know you were a submarine guy. I guess.
Now you guys are kindred spirits. So's Joe.
Joe.
Well, Yeah,
Sure.
Steve, you're a young man though. You weren't there when I was there, probably.
Well, no, believe it or not, we have. I'm called a unicorn. That means I went through the enlisted ranks. I've been an E5 3 times. Got busted once or twice, and
We could talk.
I became a chief, and then a chief warrant officer, and I was a chief warrant officer 3. And Big Navy, they did away with the warrant officers because I'm a CB. So the other countries, they don't know how to treat us. Are we enlisted or are we officers? Well, a warrant officer is, of course, a commissioned officer, but the other countries don't have them, so they don't know how to treat us. So Big Navy said, well, we're just going to make you a straight lieutenant since you've been a warrant for 4 years. So yeah, I actually I've been through the ringer. So I started in 1980, and like I said, I got out for 17 years. But yeah, I was originally a submariner, machinist mate, and I was a ship's diver. So I was a submarine scuba diver. Submarine has to have three divers on board. So I did that my first tour, and then of course when I came back in after 17 years, I was a general contractor at the time. So the local recruiter was a buddy of mine, and he said, "Hey, we're looking for contractors," and they brought me back in as the E5. So yeah, I've been through I did everything the hard way.
All right, great. Were you on attack boats or boomers?
Yeah, yes, the USS Shark. It was the S class, or it was actually the Scorpion class, but the Scorpion went down. So
Okay, they had to change that name. Okay.
Yeah, 591.
All right, very good. Sounds like you were there in my era. So,
You
hey,
watch,
no, I wanted to ask you, just back to the gun thing. Since you're running for office, obviously a politician, elected official, and all that. And as a supervisor, you don't have a lot. I mean, you come into contact with this kind of stuff, but for a lot of gun owners, these things are important for the elected officials, and people are curious about how you feel about some of these things. And the red flag laws are a big deal down here. We've got somebody running for sheriff right now, unfortunately endorsed by the Republican Party, who's not a real good red flag person here. And I was curious what your thoughts are on the red flag laws.
Right. So, well, first of all, so let me tell you about. So I have my concealed weapons permit in Texas, and so that's good for 38 states. And I'm supporting Don Barnes, who's running unopposed, because I love what he's doing as far as making sure that we can get our concealed weapons permits. And then Todd Spitzer, the DA, he's holding the line as far as making sure that we don't turn to like LA, like Gaston. So he's actually helping us to prosecute criminals. And one of my taglines is for my campaign is that I want to put handcuffs on criminals, not our sheriff's deputies and police officers. And we don't want to end up having all these smash and grabs like LA and others. We had a couple there, and so I want to catch and latch the lawbreakers. And that's where the supervisor's role, as far as supporting these experts that already know how to do their job, like the district attorney and like our sheriffs. I'm not an expert at those things, but that's my role, is to make sure that they have the funding to do their job. As far as the red flag laws, you're talking about, like when if you have a domestic violence or something like that you get flagged.
They're worse than that. It's not so much that somebody's actually done that. It's that somebody might say that, ooh, you might do that, or I think I feel threatened, and that person has guns. It's that kind of thing more.
Yes, or how about if you speak out at a school board meeting, that all of a sudden
you mean a domestic terrorist, that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Right. So those are obviously ridiculous laws and ridiculous proposals put forward by liberals, and that's one of the things why we need to maintain a conservative, I won't say Republican board, I'll say conservative board, because you might have Republicans in there that aren't, not on my board, of course, but on other councils that are not as solid. So we definitely need a conservative board of supervisors, and that's what I'm pushing for.
No, I think that's 100% accurate too, to phrase it that way.
Right.
Because the thing with the red flag laws and just being a supervisor, I mean, obviously, the legislature creates the laws, the governor signs them into effect and everything, and sheriffs and people like that have to enforce them. But even as a supervisor, I mean, the sheriff is an elected office, so they've got a bit of freedom as to how they want to act. And if you've got sheriffs like Chad Bianco or even Alex Villanueva, they could be pretty independent, but still the supervisors control their budgets, they control their funding. The supervisors, have a fair amount of influence, I think, on that stuff, even though they don't write the laws or enforce the laws. And they can influence how things go. So it's good to hear you feel that way.
Yeah, well, if I could expand, I'm sorry, I don't know how much time we have, but I'll talk as long as you'll have me, and certainly willing to come into the studio. But can I give you a little bit more about that kind of aspect?
Yeah, please do.
All right, so and I don't have numbers from I'm up here in Washington State, but I know that the sheriff, he's got $899 million budget. The district attorney, I think it's $750 million. Right. Well, it's looking into those details of that. I actually interviewed with the Association of Orange County Deputy District Attorneys who endorsed me, and I told him, I said, listen, I know I'm running against the chairman of the board, and so if you can't endorse me, I understand, but if you just stay out of it, that would be a win for me. So I asked him, hey, if you can't endorse me, just stay out of it, I'll be happy. Well, they came back and they said, no, we're going to endorse you, because I dug into their budget. And I said, well, here, how about this? You guys are losing, $5 million for your district attorneys, the defense attorneys. And they said, what? Well, that was the proposed budget, and then they got the actual budget. They didn't realize that in the proposed budget they were going to lose some money. Well, they educated me on that subject, because I was just asking them, well, why is this? And they educated me that they need to have good, solid defense attorneys, not to get people off, but just to have efficiency in the courtroom. Because if the prosecutors have to educate the defense attorneys about how to do procedural things, because they're the new guy or whatever, or gal, that's taking up time, precious time, that they could be getting cases through and being more efficient as prosecutors. So it's both sides of the coin that you have to look at. You can't just look at prosecuting everything and not have good defense, because you got to have solid defense people to have an efficient system. And that's one of the things that you got to look at it from both sides and make sure that the funding's there.
Well, it's good. It's encouraging too to hear the your view is the focus on the criminal, actually, or on crime, because we're seeing that all across the country, mostly in the cities, but the surge in violent crime. And I thought I'd read that San Diego's violent crime went up like 41% here in the last year or so.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the focus, and you use that, or certain people use that as an excuse for more gun control kind of stuff, because that's what they want to blame it on. And
Sure.
It's nice to see somebody focusing, a more conservative, focusing on the criminal, because that's the issue. And something I saw the other day, which I wasn't aware of, it was something that Dr. John Lott just came out with. He just wrote about a study that came out. But most Americans think that firearms are involved in the majority of the violent crime in this country. And it turns out that firearms are involved in about 8% of the violent crimes that take place in this country. And, but yet you see it used as, they beat this gun control drum, I guess, based on that kind of stuff. And people are really misinformed. So I think it's good to see somebody running for office up there that doesn't seem to be that misinformed. So that's good.
Well, no, thank you so much. I appreciate those comments. The smash and grabs, they're not using guns on those.
No.
But how violent are those? Where can you imagine you're walking through the mall with your kids and you're seeing this going on, and the people just walking around like they're just taking stuff off the shelves and just, nobody can stop them, because the corporate world is saying, oh, no, it's a liability to get involved. Well, we need to have some more security guards out there, that's for sure. And there's plenty that the private sector can do to have legit security guards that are actually able to keep the weapons.
Hey, Steve, this has been a great interview. We appreciate it. How do people follow you around, or reach out, or help?
Well, certainly Vargas for Supervisor, the number 4, Vargas4Supervisor.com is my web address. And then just thank you so much for having me. Like I said, I'm glad to come in the studio and do more.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.